The new group delivering aid to Gazans has suspended food distribution after dozens of people seeking aid were shot to death in recent days. Israel's army has called the roads leading to the group's distribution centers, quote, combat zones, and warned people not to travel on them. The U.S. has warned of potential war crimes. Now, the private aid group, which is backed by Israel and the United States, is urging Israel to boost safety for civilians. It said the sites will be closed for upgrades, reorganization, and operational efficiency improvements, and that entry is strictly prohibited. It said its operations will resume on Thursday and urged people to stay updated and adhere to guidelines. For more, I'm joined now by DW correspondent Emily Gordine in Jerusalem. Emily, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has suspended aid for now. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, this comes after on Sunday the founding director, Jake Wood, also resigned from his position, saying that it would not be possible for the group to deliver aid, quote, while also strictly adhering to the humanitarian principles of humanity, neutrality, impartiality and independence. This obviously comes after several incidents of fatal attacks on Palestinians who were trying to reach this aid. Now, you might wonder, how did we get here? Now, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation was essentially established in an effort by Israel to sidestep the UN, which was previously responsible for distributing aid across the Gaza Strip. Now, why did they do that? Well, Israel claimed that the UN let aid fall into the hands of Hamas. They didn't deliver any evidence to that, and the UN, for its part, has criticized this new mechanism under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, saying because it essentially uses armed private military or private security contractors, to deliver aid to compounds that are guarded by the Israeli military. And you also have to keep in mind that these compounds are only in 4 locations so far. And Gaza has been under a blockade for about 11 weeks now. People who live there are emaciated, they are hungry, and they are expected to walk for miles on end to reach these compounds to get that aid. Whereas in the past, under the UN would just deliver aid to the communities directly. So there's been a lot of criticism of this Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in the past. But I think the bottom line here, and I think it's very important to stress this here, that Israel now controls large parts of the Gaza Strip. It controls what goes in and what goes out. It is essentially an occupying power here. And as such, under international humanitarian law, it is responsible to meet the humanitarian needs on the ground. And at this point, it isn't. It tried to turn to a private company to do this. This company seems to be failing. And the question is now, how will the people of Gaza get the aid that they so desperately need?
Yeah. There have also been reports about an attack on a school this morning in South Gaza. Give us more details about these latest attacks, please.
That's right. Israeli strikes this morning killed about 18 people that were sheltering in a school, among them women and children. Now, Israel has not immediately responded to this incident, but it has said in the past that it is fighting in Gaza to return the hostages that are still being kept by Hamas in Gaza. But I think it's also important to stress here that I have been speaking to rights organizations in Israel, most notably Breaking the Silence, which is an anti-occupation rights organization, and they have said that Israel, in its war in Gaza, has loosened its rules of engagement, and that is also one reason for why we are seeing so many civilian casualties. Now, we are still waiting to hear more on possible ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas. They have so far stalled because ultimately Israel is refusing to end the war permanently.
That's DW's Emily Gordine in Jerusalem. Thanks so much for that.